The underbelly of the modeling world has been exposed. Underneath all the glamour and flashy lifestyle lies something much darker. This is something truly horrifying, a secret that's been lurking in the shadows, hidden all this time.
Agencies don't have their models' best interests at heart.
There is nothing really comfortable about the job.
There's nothing really comfortable about the job. Multiple people are touching your face and your body all day long.
The photographer tried to put me in these little tiny bathing suits and was like, it's okay if things fall out. And I'm like, no, I'm 13. This is not okay.
Young models are lured in by promises of fame and fortune.
You're gonna sign a contract, you're gonna become famous, and you're gonna make it.
Only for them to find themselves in a nightmare they can't escape. The people in power, and sometimes even those close to them, pull the strings, controlling not just careers, but lives. In the end, some vanish without a trace, some end up homeless, and even more die under completely mysterious circumstances. Today, we'll be exposing the scary side of being a model through 10 models whose careers took a dramatic turn. Let's get into it. Sinead McNamara. McNamara was an Australian Instagram model with more than 12,000 followers. She regularly posted pictures of her travels, and of course many people admired her. Many of her followers referred to her as free-spirited and having an adventurous soul. However, her career and adventures came to an abrupt end when she was found dead on a super yacht owned by Mexican mining magnate Alberto Bayer. The young model was found unconscious and entangled in ropes at the back of the vessel. Now here is the dark part of all this. In her final hours, she made a tearful telephone call to her mother and brother Jake, relating an incident involving another crew member aboard the vessel. An autopsy was performed on her body, revealing that she died from hanging. But the kicker was that there was alcohol in her system, which they believed was unwittingly given to her. So if she was drunk, how did she have the strength to physically hang herself? At the end of the day, the case was left with more questions than answers. Liskela Cohen. Cohen was a very popular Canadian model in the early 2000s. She appeared in various famous magazines like Vogue, Elle, and Clio. Unfortunately for her, the career she had painstakingly built was suddenly shattered. It all started when a doorman struck her in the face with a glass vodka bottle. She was rushed to the hospital, where she received 46 stitches. We know how the beauty industry is. One single flaw can make a very big difference, and stitches on the face will definitely unlock a new level of rejection from everyone. But things didn't stop there. When her face finally healed and she was trying to get back on her feet, another incident happened. This time it involved a lawsuit she filed when an anonymous blogger not only called her a skank, but also an old hag. Although she was told to let the whole incident go, she refused completely.
A lot of people would say there's so much meanness going on out there on the internet. Let it go, let it go. Why did you not let it go?
This once again brought her into the spotlight for negative reasons, further tarnishing her career. Lonnie Wilson. As one of the rising models in the 2000s, Lonnie Wilson posed for magazines like Iron Man, Flavor, and Glam Fit. Alongside her blossoming career, she enjoyed a relationship with Jeremy Jackson, and their sweet moments were often caught on camera. However, behind the glamour, a far darker secret loomed. It turned out that not all that glittered was gold. She confessed that her husband was abusive. According to the model, he abused her several times, allegedly strangling her once and smashing their TV with beer bottles. During one incident in 2014, she reportedly sustained an injured neck, 2 broken ribs, and scratches all over her face and body. After this, she got a divorce and suddenly disappeared, only to reappear in 2018 as a homeless person. Apparently, everything she went through led to mental problems. That was how a renowned model went from being rich and famous to homeless. Marilyn Monroe. Many people are familiar with the image of Marilyn Monroe, the model and actress. The blonde bombshell who sashayed across the silver screen of old Hollywood, leaving a trail of gawking men behind her. Indeed, for a great number of the movies she starred in, this was the character archetype she was cast in, the dumb blonde. Her life got a vast amount of public attention, and audiences thought they knew everything about her based on her looks. Monroe seemed to be nothing more than a character in her own life. But Marilyn Monroe was so much more than her on-screen personas. She was a deep and complex individual. with a complicated past and issues in her personal life that were often overlooked by those around her, or even exploited. This led to mental health issues, substance abuse, and unstable relationships. Her mysterious death in 1962 from a barbiturate overdose remains one of Hollywood's darkest moments, with conspiracy theories about foul play still surrounding her demise. Anna Nicole Smith. The model and actress Anna Nicole Smith made a name for herself in Hollywood despite her humble beginnings. As a high school dropout, she worked at a fast food restaurant, got married, and welcomed her son Daniel, all while still in her teens. After divorcing her first husband, Smith began working as a stripper, where she met 89-year-old billionaire J. Howard Marshall. The pair married just as her modeling career was taking off, and she was named Playboy's Playmate of the Year. However, Marshall's death, 13 months later, came as a shock since nothing was left to her in the billionaire's will. This led to a decades-long legal battle over his estate, as she claimed he had promised her half of his property. Despite the litigation, Smith continued to rise in fame, securing modeling contracts with Guess and H&M and landing several movie roles. But behind the scenes, Smith reportedly struggled with health issues, including chronic back pain resulting from breast enhancement surgery. Eventually, she passed away from a drug overdose just 5 months after giving birth to a baby girl, leaving behind an infant child. Carmen Electra. Russian model Carmen Electra was a 90s model who started at the early age of 14. She went on to appear in Elle and Glamour magazines and worked with Versace, Valentino, and Preen. The Russian model became a full-time model after graduating from university. But beneath all the glamour, something darker lurked. When she was at the peak of her career, she suddenly left the spotlight. According to her, the industry was filled with predatory behavior. This exposed the underbelly of the modeling industry and, of course, led to retribution. Her once bright career was almost tarnished and slowly faded from the spotlight. Ruslana Korshunova. Ruslana Korshunova was a model well known for her angelic look. She was on the brink of supermodel status before things went terribly wrong. In 2008, the model jumped off a building and died. However, there is a lot of mystery surrounding her death due to the circumstances of her life in the months leading up to it. Before her death, it was reported that she had joined a strict Russian self-help group. Recent court documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, the American financier and convicted sex offender, and his former partner Ghislaine Maxwell revealed something shocking. It showed that when Korshunova was 18, she was flown to Epstein's private island on his notorious plane, the Lolita Express. This plane was used to transport young girls to the island, where they were in the company of wealthy and powerful men. Flight records show that Korshunova boarded the plane. It's believed that what she saw and experienced there led to her suicide in the end. Kate Moss. Kate Moss became a global sensation in the 90s, but her career hit a serious snag in 2005 when photographs surfaced of her using cocaine. She was known for her scandals off the runway as much as on it. By the time her cocaine scandal surfaced, she had been showing signs for a long time. She once admitted in an interview that she spent most nights drunk, even in the early mornings. Immediately after her cocaine pictures were exposed, several contracts started dropping her. Although she later made a comeback and continued to work in fashion, it was a significant setback. Karen Mulder. There are blonde bombshells, and then there is Karen Mulder, the Dutch beauty with sculpted features whose larger-than-life sex appeal was an essential part of 90s pop culture. She had one of the biggest modeling contracts of the time, and for many years, she was among the 10 best-paid models in the world. At one point in her career, she was reportedly earning more than $10,000 every day. Often compared to Barbie for her glamorous look, Mulder became a star. Her career went downward when she publicly claimed she had been sexually assaulted by high-profile figures and made erratic appearances, leading to her hospitalization for psychiatric care. Peaches Geldof. Peaches Geldof wasn't just a model. She was also a journalist and TV star. To everyone, she seemed to have it all, happily married with 2 kids and a life that looked perfect. "My kids are really just my joy. They're so good and really sweet. And now it's just a lot of fun being a mom.
They really are my raison d'etre. They're just so good and they're really sweet, and now it's really fun being a mom.
But she was actually struggling with a strong case of heroin addiction. Here is the crazy part of all this. She told her husband and parents that she was addressing it through rehab and frequent blood tests. The tests confirmed that she was clean. However, all these were lies and facades she used to cover up the truth. It turned out that she was falsifying drug tests and fabricating her rehab visits. Her parents and husband discovered this in the worst possible way. It was through her lifeless body. Apparently, she overdosed on heroin, taking her own life. Her death came as a serious shock to her loved ones and fans. And there you have it, 10 models whose careers took a dramatic turn, revealing the dark side of the fashion industry. Thanks for watching. Do well to drop a like and subscribe to this channel.